just ask, how much would it be for me?
Even like the benefit of like having like a life insurance policy, for example, or these different products that you're talking about right now, like you're even able to like take loans against these policies. Am I correct?
The fact that you can do that and still leverage the life insurance for the coverage and the tax-free benefits, like who would not want to do that? You know, to a certain extent.
In a lot of ways, it's like refinancing your house, right? Hey, what's up, guys? This is Brandon Estrada with the Hefé Media podcast, where we sit down with game changers in their respective industries. Today, I'm sitting down with a bombshell, Sarah Ruiz, the matriarch of financial architects.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you so much, Brandon. Thank you for having me here. I'm excited, looking forward to doing this and just sharing a little bit more about me, who I am, what I do, my passion, why I love doing what I do. And so thank you for the opportunity.
No, absolutely. Thank you for being here. Your outfit, by the way, I think you look like a bumblebee.
Yeah.
It's actually, the bees are like hard workers, so that's like a really good color
but I'm the queen bee.
All right, yeah. And then your name too, like your name is very powerful, right?
Sarah's like
Sarah? Sarah's like that's the matriarch of all the religions of the world. You know that?
Yeah.
Did you know that already or no?
I actually, my name, it's funny you bring up my name because not a lot of people know, but I don't mind sharing it. I always tell people anyways, on a personal level, but my name is actually Sarai. And so with an I at the end, and you pronounce it Sarai. But when I came here to the U.S., people would mispronounce it and say Sarai.
Sarai.
So I didn't like it.
What does that mean?
Right? No, it's not that it means anything different. I just didn't like the sound of it.
You didn't like it?
Yeah. So
Sarai.
I was like, no, it's Sarai, right?
Uh-huh.
But people would say, well, the I, you pronounce it I, so Sarai. So I was just like, forget it, take out the I. So I'd always introduce myself as Sarah or Sarah, from like, when I came here and until now. So it just stuck around. But my name is actually Sarai,
Yeah, no, your name is actually really powerful. It's a really powerful name. Like in Hebrew, like when you make a prayer for like healing or what have you, you use the that's the matriarch. It's like, for example, if you use let's use give me a name, any name.
I don't know, David.
You could say David bought Sarah, and then you're praying for the healing of David, for example. If you don't know the mother's name. Yeah. So it's like Sarah is the matriarch. That's a very powerful name.
I didn't know that actually.
Yeah. It's like probably one of the best names to have.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I definitely feel powerful. So
yeah, no.
Must be it. Must be the name.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So yeah, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. I wanted to dive in. Part of this podcast is to, not only inspire, but highlight the different business leaders in this industry, in the world, really. And I kind of wanted to learn more about like who you are and what you're doing and how you're like, spreading your light through the work that you do.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So yeah, what exactly is it that you want to know?
I just want to know like who you are, like what you do, like how'd you get to, like, for example.
So basically my story.
Yeah, because like, for example, when I meet with you, you're always at like business events, for example, and you're,
That's how we met.
I met you back in 2022. I think it was like a real estate event. It was on the rooftop of Los Angeles. I don't even know.
The NAREP.
Yeah, it was a NAREP event.
Yes.
And I remember you were in a red dress.
Yes.
And yeah, whatever. I like saw you. We had a conversation, and I think I got your number.
Right.
And then just recently, like maybe a month ago, I saw you at another the Mortgage Guys, right?
Yes.
The Mortgage Guys event. And obviously, you're in business, so I want to learn, more about like what you do, what brings food on the table for Sarah, and like how you use that platform to, spread your light to the world.
Yes, thank you. So I do kind of like how you said we met through a networking event. So I go to a lot of networking events, and the reason for that is because I am a financial planner, right? So I got into the financial and insurance services industry like 4 years ago. And this was before COVID, right? Or during COVID, actually, the start of COVID.
Okay.
When everything was shutting down and people, were panicking. And in my case, I was a personal trainer, right?
That's what I was gonna ask you. So you were doing a personal training?
Yeah, so I was a personal trainer.
We gotta work out at least once, okay?
Once?
Yeah, because I'm
if you could keep up.
No, I'm like in shape, okay? Not to like toot my own horn, but
all right.
like I play basketball in leagues and stuff, and like
I like challenge.
I'll like keep up for sure.
Okay, awesome.
Or exceed, I don't know.
Yeah, you have to keep up or push me, because if I'm dragging you, I'm like, oh.
So what's your style though? What's your style like? Are you like endurance? Are you like heavy? Are you like intensity? Like what's your style?
So now I'm more of like I do like weight training, but I've always done sports my entire life. So since I was like a little girl, I've done soccer, swim, I did track and field. So just always staying active, right? And then after I graduated high school, that's where kind of the sports stopped. And then I went into, you get a membership. You're 18 plus now, so you can get your membership and stuff.
Okay.
So I got a gym membership, and I started learning how to work out. And then at that time, I was also going to school for my kinesiology degree.
Okay, cool.
So I was, getting educated in that field, and I just loved it. I loved everything about working out, the proper form, and just when I got into personal training, I just loved the fact that I can change people's lives, right? In the sense of like helping them take care of their health, learn how to work out.
Quick question.
Right?
Don't mean to interrupt you.
No.
So do you still train people on the side or not even? So just to share with you, this is what I do. This is like a little insight on me.
Okay.
I'll take my clients, like my branding, marketing clients. I'll take them to the gym. I'll drag them into the gym with me. I'm like, this is part of the subscription.
Right.
Like you got to get in here and get better.
Yeah.
This is not just like a marketing or a branding thing. This is like a life thing.
Right.
And maybe you can do that too. I don't
like
know.
with who you
my
mean?
clients. Like my clients may or may not be a little different than your clients on like the way that you serve them.
Right.
But I'll do that, I don't know, maybe it's something that even if it's just a one-time thing,
right.
It just adds like a little extra value, I guess.
That's true. Yeah, maybe I should be more open to it, because I'm very like, I already know how I work out, like my style. And when I work out, if anything, it's more of like an escape to me in a sense. Like,
did you go this morning?
It's like therapy. Yeah, of course.
Oh, I was about to get on you
I
about it. I was there too. Yeah.
I'm like, I was there. I posted it, so I have proof.
I was 6:30, but you came here, like I said, thank you so much for driving all the way over here to Downey.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was at the gym. I did like a lighter workout, but I got it in though for sure.
Okay, good. You have to. I mean, for me, if I don't start my mornings with a workout and like just getting a good sweat on and exercising and putting me first, I feel like my day is just so shitty. Excuse
it's
my
just
language.
different.
Yeah,
it's just different.
Just
like you're on a different.
Okay, I'm not focused today, right? Like I didn't.
What's your workout regimen right now? Like, is it like 7 days a week or?
So sometimes I do 7 days a week. Yeah, sometimes I do 7 days.
Yeah, really?
Yeah,
that's a lot.
But it's because like I know, so rest days, right? Super important. I know that as a previous personal trainer. But I'm telling you, like going back to what I was saying, like working out in general, to me, it's like a therapy.
It's a form of meditation for you,
like
therapy
to me,
and all that.
I just put my headphones on and I work out, and like I already know what to do, so I don't even have to like think about it. I'm just doing it. And
how
I'm,
do you go into
enjoying
it?
my music.
How do you go into it? Like, are you like a leg day person, upper body person? Are you like a full body workout person? Are you like a cardio day person?
Right.
How do you usually do it?
I'm more of like, I definitely separate upper body and then lower body, and then every now and then I'll throw in like a full body day, right?
Okay.
Like a full thing. But I don't really, I mean, sometimes, but I don't really separate. Like, for example, if I do legs, like, I'm going to just do hamstrings all day today. Like, no. I'm fortunate that I think I have, kind of good genetics. So when I work out, like, it's very easy for me
you have good genetics. Come on.
No, but what I'm saying is, like, some people, like, it takes them longer, right?
Takes them longer to what?
And
like to build muscle,
or to look a certain way,
especially if
whatever,
they've
right?
never done it.
Exactly. So I mean, it could be too that I've been doing it for so many years, so I have that muscle memory,
for
right?
Sure.
But and muscle maturity, I mean, but for me, it's so easy to just like build the muscle and retain it.
Yeah.
So I don't want to just like isolate, because otherwise I just know my body and it'll like blow up. And I'm like, I'm not trying to be too.
You like
much.
being like lean and mean.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, so I kind of just like do all lower body or all upper body, and then like a full body day if I do like a 7th day, more for like calorie burning purposes.
Okay, so like just doing cardio. Do you do the sauna too or no?
Yes, sauna, 10 minutes.
Sauna is
nothing
beautiful.
more. Yeah, and stretching.
What about your not to get too into your personal life, but like how's your alcohol intake?
Okay.
How's your like I don't know if
That's
you
very
smoke.
important.
I don't know if you're like a heavy smoker, pack 3 packs a day.
Right?
You know,
Imagine.
I don't know.
No, I've never been into smoking ever.
Okay, good for
you. So I don't smoke. I don't do any other stuff. Like, just doesn't catch my attention. I do drink, right, every now and then. I don't like to drink during the week.
But what is like I drink? Like, how do you like define that? Like, you drink like what? Like
social
one
drinking.
drink, or you have like you get like a buzz going?
I do enjoy wine, actually.
Okay,
so if
wine is good for you.
So
though.
if wine is like an option, like, let's say, like, for example, I went to a networking event in Costa Mesa, like, I think it was like 3 weeks ago.
You didn't invite me?
And sorry, it was last minute too. I show up to things last minute.
Okay.
And so next time I'll keep you in mind.
Okay.
And actually, I ran into Elizabeth there.
Oh, Elizabeth?
Yeah, she was there. But
for sure.
But going back to what I was saying, so I went to that event and they were serving, the drinks, the bar and stuff, and then they had like a wine section.
Okay.
And I went to go get a drink, and all they were serving was like whiskey and stuff, and I was like, no way, like, oh, like I don't feel like
whiskey,
drinking hard like that right now, you know, like I just. Something to sip on, but whatever. So I just grabbed on and I was like, I'll sip on it. And then that's when they were like, oh, we have wine over there. And I'm not even kidding. Like, sorry, but like I left the drink there to the side.
Oh, really?
And I went to go get wine instead. Because I actually enjoy wine. I celebrated my last birthday at a winery and I really loved it.
You turned 21 or what?
Yeah, something like that.
Awesome.
I'm 20.
When's your birthday?
December 27.
27? Mm-hmm. Wow. I've been running into a lot of 27s.
Really?
Recently, yeah.
It's a good number.
I don't know. Like,
it's a great number.
I just signed a contract this month in June, a new deal, and his birthday is July 27th.
Okay.
Yeah. So
yeah,
and
so
a lot of
my birthday is December 27th, and I'm 27.
Oh, you're 27?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
That's so interesting because it's just like I feel like I'm getting a lot of synchronicities with 27 right now.
Sign.
Like, what
you need to go look into it.
No, I know a lot of different things about the 27, but even more, because I know you're ox, right? You're the year of the ox. That's from the Chinese perspective.
I'm not sure. I don't really look into that stuff.
From the Chinese perspective, it's the year of the ox. I'm not like Chinese or anything, but I just know. And then you're a Capricorn.
Capricorn. That's like as far as I know in terms of like my birthday.
Yeah,
I know people get all like.
My mom is a Capricorn.
Into it, but oh really?
So you don't get into it?
Oh my gosh! Everybody's mom is a Capricorn. Like I'm serious.
Oh really?
It's so funny. I'm not even lying. Like I feel like every guy I talk to, like, and they ask me my birthday, and I tell them, they're like, oh, you're a Capricorn. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, my mom's a Capricorn. I'm serious. This is like the 10th time I hear.
Hence the matriarch.
This is the 10th time I hear this.
Yeah, my mom's birthday is on December 24th. On Christmas
That one's
Eve.
even like worse than mine.
Well, I mean, if you're Christian or Catholic, like, like I guess. Well, it could be a good thing. Yeah. It could be a good thing or a bad thing, I guess, in terms of like if you want like more presents or whatever.
That's what I meant.
But if you're like Hindu or something, then I guess it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
So
I mean, for me, I always grew up getting like one gift. Like
they were like budgeting.
Yeah.
They were budgeting.
Yeah, everybody's always broke in December, so like
everyone like shuts down like
yes.
like towards November, December.
Yeah.
It's usually like people check out, they go out of the country, whatever.
Right.
This year, God willing, I will be somewhere in the world, spreading my light, like doing some goodness, So
I love that.
Yeah, I love traveling. Like traveling is definitely Mexico City. You said you're from Mexico City.
Yes.
That's one of the places that I want to go.
You haven't been yet?
Immediately.
Okay.
I haven't been there yet, but I do have a big desire to go there this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the locations I want to go. I would like to go to Colombia. This kind of like more of a selfish desire, but
okay.
you know what? my roommate Carlos, he's from Colombia, and I work with him. We work very intimately. He helps me with a lot of my, graphic design, editing, different things like that. And so I was actually with him in Spain. I was with him in France last year. So I would like to go with him just because he knows the culture. He's from there, like he has a house there and everything. So I would feel more comfortable going with him there.
Right.
And then another location that I want to go to ASAP, although it's kind of like a little crazy out there right now, is Israel. I want to go there.
Okay.
Like, I want to go there for sure.
Yeah, that's a nice one too.
But anyways, enough about me. I want to ask questions about you. I know we were kind of getting into it a little bit, but I wanted to learn a little bit about how you bring food to the table. How'd you get into financial planning, right?
Right.
Financial planning, and like what kind of brought you there, and like how did this bring you to where you're at today?
Okay. So then, I was doing the personal training, and then that's when COVID hit. So I was working out of a private gym, training my clients there. So when everything shut down, obviously my income was affected, right? My clients couldn't come into the gym to train. They didn't want to. Nobody wants to get sick or risk their lives or their parents, right? So I started offering online for a bit, right? And some of my clients were doing it, but it wasn't like I had a full system or anything locked in for like me to start doing online right away like that, right? So
you didn't have any like paid subscription?
Yeah, like
setup.
No, there was no like online training like plan, right?
Okay.
It was just like so sudden, so I had to kind of like pivot with it. And then somebody reached out to me in regards like, hey, you should get your license in life and health, and then
for sure
learn about insurance and sell it and stuff. And you can do it from home. You can do Zoom calls, a phone number or phone calls, whatever, right? So I was like, well, you know what? Like, doesn't seem like the situation is going to get better anytime soon. And I need to do something about, because I don't get, unemployment.
And that was like the perfect timing too, because during COVID, like,
yeah, you have the time
people,
to learn.
Well, that and like it was like a dark time,
Yes.
people were dying,
Right.
like, and I don't even think, I'm not trying to get censored on this podcast, but I don't even think it was like I don't even know how to put it. Like it was just a administrative error,
Right.
or like it wasn't like, it was just because there was either a lack of knowledge, or it was just like, this is what was wanted, like this is how they wanted to go about taking care of these patients,
Right.
like as far as with the ventilators and different things like that.
Yes.
I mean, it is what it is. I'm not trying to like comment too much on it, but I feel in my opinion it could have been handled better.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you. So yeah, like you say, it was a very dark time. I think people are still, there's people that are traumatized from it, right? Like they still, I see people still wearing a mask and stuff, so like it's like it was that big of a deal. So for me, I was like, I need to pivot and do something about my situation, because I can't just sit here and wait around.
Absolutely.
Nobody's gonna, like, the bills are gonna keep coming.
You know what's crazy though, like as soon as you start moving, like say if you're not doing anything, it's like the pain is like, it lasts long, but as soon as you start moving and hustling and doing different things, people start calling you, hey,
exactly.
And it's like funny, like even during this podcast before we shot, like boom, already another lead came in, and it's funny how things work like that,
Exactly.
like as soon as you like are making movements, like just stuff starts happening.
I mean, just kind of how you say it, because last week when you reached out to me, I was like in the middle of about to start shooting a podcast with somebody else.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then as I was like there sitting down, like, waiting, that's when I got your text message of like, oh, next week, which is today. And then I was like, oh, there you go. Like more people. And then I was talking to a client on my way here, and he's like, oh, like, where are you going and stuff? I was like, oh, I'm on my way to Downey to shoot a podcast and stuff like that. And he was like, wow, look at you. Like you're getting like more and more notice, right? And you're having people reach out to you to come and share your story. Like that's great. That means you're doing something good, right?
Absolutely.
So I was like, yes, that is a good sign, right? But yeah, so then COVID happened. So then I started doing the course. I got my license, passed it, and then I got into the industry, right? I did kind of like try out a couple companies, right, to see, and then what it was like. There's different styles, different business models, right? People do things differently, but definitely where I ended up planting my flag was where I just felt like it was what aligned and resonated more with my style and how I am, which is
that's so important too.
Yeah, exactly. So my company is we're very like heavy on product training, right? Okay. So every single week we're dialing in on like learning about life insurance, learning about annuities, learning about fees, learning about taxes, learning about penalties, learning about estate planning, premium financing, how we can help business owners save taxes, how we can help business owners set up their employee benefits. Like there's so much stuff that we do that it's not just life insurance. That's why when people ask me, I'm like, I'm not just a life insurance agent. Like I have, I'm a wealth of knowledge, you know, like I don't just like know everything about life insurance. I know everything about that and other stuff that relates to it that creates the financial blueprint, right? So I'm not just gonna sit down with you and be like, here's your life insurance, awesome, like next, right? I'm gonna ask you like, what's your retirement plan? Do you have a home? Do you have a preferred realtor? Do you want to buy a home later on? Do you want to have a business? Do you have savings for that investment down the road? X, Y, and Z, right? So I ask all these questions when I sit down with my client, because that's how I'm going to come up with like, okay, this is how maybe we can do things for you, right? So yes, if that kind of, I don't know, I think that was kind of like something you were asking me earlier in terms of like what's different with when working with you. That's what's different.
No, I mean, that's one of my questions too. But I mean, as far as like, so you're like more like, well, two things. You're more like direct sales, or do you guys also like build teams, like you have like as a broker, I guess, or I don't know if that's the proper terminology.
Yeah, so that's a good question. So I am the broker or team leader of my team, right? So the company I'm affiliated with is TFA, the Financial Architects. So our headquarters is in Chino Hills. And the way the CEO runs the company is he franchises the model, right? So we are not very much like an MLM. We're not recruiting based. Of course,
you're more focused on direct sales though.
Exactly. So we don't really, I don't want to say we don't care to recruit. Of course, we care to build a team and expand the business and have people on the team that are legit and serious about it. But we're not going to go out there and have everybody get their license, because not everybody is passionate about this business, right? So we only want the people that are passionate and love financial services as much as we do. And then we just dial in on the knowledge, the product training, like really knowing the ins and outs of the stuff that the insurance and the financial institutions are providing for our clients, you know? So in terms of who I am in my company, I did buy the franchise 2 years ago. So I have my franchise. I have a couple of agents under me. And then my office is located in Corona. So I am on the building, team building process. But
that area too is like a booming economy out there. Like especially like more towards the Inland Empire. Like there's a lot of growth happening out there. Like right here in Downey and like all the like the inner cities of LA, they're kind of like, not that they're plateaued, but like pretty much it's like unless they're building up, it's like it's all like built out. Over there they're like doing a lot of construction over there, so a lot of opportunity.
Corona, Norco, Drupa Valley, even up the hill or over the mountain, what's that area over there, like Hesperia, Victorville?
For sure.
So
I know, so look at this is the thing, and I know you were like kind of mentioning it already. A lot of people, when they think of like life insurance, for example, they think like, oh, you buy it, you use it, or you lose it. But obviously you guys have a lot more different products than just like the regular term. I think that's the proper terminology, right? The term life insurance. Like, can you go like very briefly? I don't want to like go maybe too much into it, but just very briefly like, on some of the different products, you know, just to kind of spread light on maybe someone that's watching this podcast that's like, hey, look, there's actually a lot of leverage with investing in a life insurance policy or purchasing a life insurance policy, and like maybe you can shed like a little, just briefly.
Yes, because if I get into it, I'll like
I'll
like talk a whole book.
I'm gonna Joe Biden it.
I know. So just to keep it basic and as simple as possible.
Yeah.
So there's like, let's just say there's two types of life insurance, right? You have the term, which is what people usually know or are familiar with. And it expires. Once it expires after, let's say 30 years, then it falls off, and then that's it. You didn't die, and then so people don't like that, right? There is another option though. You do have the ROP term, which means is you get your return of premiums, right?
Okay.
So let's just say you get the policy for 30 years. After the 30 years, then they return all your premiums back to you.
Okay.
So that is an option, but it's a little bit more costly than the regular term, right?
Okay.
And then you have the permanent life insurance, which that one builds you cash value. You get equity, and you get to access that. As long as you have cash value available to you, you can pull out money out of there.
And usually it's like usually it starts building cash value like a year 10 or something. Usually,
it just depends how it's illustrated, you know. So if it's a properly and a well structured illustration, you can probably have money even before year 10, right? And then also it depends on your contribution too. How much are you contributing? Because a lot of people think like, oh, let me put in $100 and then I expect like $1 million tomorrow. Like, no, that is not how it's going to work.
Yeah.
Right? You need to be realistic with your financial
kind of like how
goals.
clients, not clients, but it's how some clients are. They're like, you know, have you seen those memes that are like their budget is like a $1 million budget, and then like client expectations is like R2D2, and it's like a trash can or whatever.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that.
Yeah, so
I mean, real.
People get upset with these plans sometimes because they don't see the numbers that they're wanting to see. But I'm like, okay, well then look at what you know, you can't, it's like you want to have, for example, let's say I want to have a 6-pack in 2 months, right?
Yeah.
For summer.
It's funny.
But then I'm drinking every day. I'm eating like crap, and I go to work out like 2-3 days a week. Then I get upset with my personal trainer.
Yeah.
Why didn't I get that 6-pack that I wanted to reach 2 months ago? You told me I could do it, and I said, and then but did you do everything? Did you commit to everything? No, you know. So same concept.
Yeah, like, no, it's funny because I use the same analogy with some of my clients too. Is like with branding and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like they think like some people think like they're gonna do like a 1 or 2 month campaign, and the phones are gonna be running off the hook, and all these different things. Like it depends. Like look, if you're doing branding, that's more like building reputation with like your community, right? And then marketing is like getting people to make an action right away, like a call to action. So there's two different things. But yeah, like when you're investing in like a branding or marketing campaign, it's like this thing is gonna take work. It's not gonna just be like an overnight thing, you know.
Exactly, and that's what a permanent plan is. It's, you know, it's called permanent for a reason. It's it's a lifelong coverage, but it's also a long-term play, right? So it's like, all right, you need to let the money sit there and let the compound interest, the index work for itself, you know? And I just don't think people realize that. They just think because they put money down one day, they expect, you know, a different result tomorrow. But it all comes down to consistency and discipline for everything, just like you say. You know, it's going to take some time. Like, let it do its job, and then you're going to, you know, reap the rewards. But yes, so that one, the permanent, would be kind of the most popular right now, because even business owners love that. They can access, you know, their money tax free and go put it elsewhere for other investments. You know, life insurance, you're building your money tax free, so that is key. Besides the life insurance, awesome, great, but if you don't care too much about that, focus on the tax-free growth, right? Okay,
so, and I know I don't want to go too deep into everything that we're talking about right now, but I had like 2 more questions that just came to my mind. One is like, so from what I understand is like, even like the benefit of like having like a life insurance policy, for example, or these different products that you're talking about right now, like you're even able to like take loans against these policies. Am I correct? Or can you share a little bit about how like what the power is with that?
I mean, it's you're basically borrowing your own money, right? And it's great because, for example, if you were to take money out of your savings account and stuff, right? The bank is giving you, you know, little to nothing of interest growth there. So why not put your money somewhere where it's growing tax free? So yes, you can definitely do that. And I love that because not a lot of products out there allow you to do that, right? But with a very like high interest rate or some type of penalty or fee, right? So the fact that you can do that and still leverage the life insurance for the coverage and the tax free benefits, like who would not want to do that, right? it's like I said, as long as it's properly illustrated and you have money available to you there, you can pull out,
It's
to a certain extent.
in a lot of ways, it's like refinancing your house, right?
Exactly. So it's like, why would you not, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Just to me, it doesn't make sense why people don't see the value in it, right?
Yeah, but I think like a lot of it is just like people are not educated on
Yes.
the actual what it
Yes.
is,
Exactly.
And I mean, I think this is such an unfortunate thing too. Like, if people would just like maybe get a little educated on like what products, like for example, your industry offers, like we would see less like GoFundMe issues,
Yeah.
and then the families would be more like protected,
Right.
financially for those type of situations. So for anybody that's like, in a situation where they're, setting up a GoFundMe because there's a tragedy happened in the family, like what do you recommend those people to do? Like what would you recommend? Like if they didn't know anything, like just like the most simplified piece of advice to get their family protected, whether it be a cousin, an uncle, a sister, a brother, a nephew, whatever the case may be, like what do you recommend for any listener watching right now?
I would just say, just ask, right? Like just ask, how much would it be for me? The most simplest, let's just say the minimal amount of coverage for the simplest plan, which is maybe like a term policy, right?
Yeah.
Just ask how much it is. All I need is your name and your date of birth. Like,
okay.
That's as simple as it is. Give me your name, your date of birth. If you smoke, if you have any medical conditions, of course, disclose that with me so I can kind of like make a better educated guess. But other than that, it's just your name, your date of birth, because insurance rates you based on your age and your health, right?
Okay.
So if you're a pretty healthy individual, Brandon, you look like you said, you work out, you look great shape, you're not overweight, anything like that, right? So, and then just give me your date of birth, and I'm going to give you a quote real quick right now. And 10 times out of 10, people always find out that it's cheaper than they thought.
Mm-hmm.
Always. I always get that reaction of people are like, oh, that's it? It's always the same reaction. Like, oh, that's it? Oh, that's, and I'm just like, yes, it's not that expensive, right? Like, even if it costs you $25-$30 for peace of mind to not create that GoFundMe, like you just said,
you're spending more money on Starbucks
exactly. Like, why would you not? Like, that's what I'm saying. So the piece of advice would be just ask somebody that does life insurance. It doesn't hurt to just get a quote. So,
okay. Yeah, no, I think it's so important because it's unfortunate that happens a lot, much too often, and it's just like with a little effort, you can prevent a lot of like tragedy, a lot of hardship,
Exactly.
But no. So I kind of want to ask. So I wanted to transition. I had a question on the top of my head right now, and then it kind of left me. Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. I had two different questions actually. So not to get into like the legalities of things or anything like that, but like I know like sometimes like the like life insurance industry, for example, there's a lot of like nuances, obviously. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to like, say, God forbid, someone is like needs to redeem their policy or what have you, are there like many restrictions when it comes to redeeming the policy? Like if they were like, for example, skydiving or something, or
by redeeming, you mean like getting their death benefits if something did happen to them and stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
No, I mean, you just have to provide the death certificate, reason of cause of death, and be able to identify the individual that it matches the life insurance policy, and that's about it.
Like I guess like part of my question too is like, as far as like, is there like, because I know
you mean like if the insurance company is gonna give some pushback in regards to
maybe there's an investigation or whatever the case may be, you know what I mean? Like, is that a common thing or is it not really common?
I have heard of it. To be honest, I have heard of people being upset because I don't know, the insurance company didn't pay out or X, Y, and Z. And in terms of that, I can't really speak on that because I wasn't the agent. So I don't know what they were given, if there's like specific guidelines with that product or regulations with that product that they were given. So for example, I had somebody reach out to me 2 weeks ago, and her dad passed away like last month, and he had a life insurance policy, right?
Yeah.
He had gotten it not even long ago, like not even over a year ago.
Oh, wow.
So when she called the insurance company to get the benefit, they said no because he passed away prior to the 2 years, right?
Oh, okay.
2 years after the policy. So just for that product alone, that's just one of the guidelines or regulations they have for that product that agent chose to sell to that client, right? But I guess the agent failed to disclose that and stuff, right? So a lot of this life insurance and insurance world scam and, you know, bad thoughts about it, a lot of times it has to do with just the agents not being educated enough and not being transparent with their clients. Maybe they're scared to be completely 100% honest and are afraid that they're not going to get the sale for X, Y, and Z. But that's where you're screwing people up, right? So I will say that. But I did tell her, you know, it seems like this product, they did have that, you know, it says it right there that within the 2 years, if he does pass away, then it won't pay out. But they'll return your premiums, though. So I at least go get that. Okay. So I did have her do that and stuff, but she was expecting the full death benefit, right? Yeah. So in terms of that, I will say there are situations where people probably have bad experiences with insurance companies, and it's probably more than likely because they didn't know what they had, right? And the agent just didn't completely disclose everything with them or educate them well on the product. Yeah. But in terms of my companies that I work with, I mean, fortunately for me, I haven't had a client, you know, pass away. So that's great. So they're going to live to 120, right? So I can't really speak on like my experience with that yet. But I do know all our companies that we are partner up with are all A-rated insurance companies. Okay. And because of their reviews and their payouts and so. Awesome.
And so I kind of want to ask you a little bit more about that. So like, what's the typical process? Like, for example, I have a policy. I don't even know the company's name, but it's like a permanent policy.
See, that's already a red flag. You don't even know what company you have your policy.
I gotta look. I don't know. I just know they withdraw the money every month out of my account.
Yeah. See, that's always the same answer. So if you don't know which company you're that's is pulling money out of your account, that's already a red flag.
I forget the name of it. But they didn't like pull like blood out of my body or check my health or anything, but I got it like when I was like in my 20s, right?
Yeah, probably because you're young, healthy. They looked at your MIB. They saw that you're like,
what's MIB?
Your like medical information bureau, like your medical background.
And so that's what I wanted to ask you. Well, that was kind of like my other question is like, from what I understand, so I have so many questions, but
I know.
So
I feel like I just like unlocked a can of
no, because
worms,
I do
right?
have I do have questions. But as far as like the MIB or whatever, like from what I understand, like these insurance companies, they know like typically how long someone's gonna live, right? Like
they do have stats and data. Yeah. So actually, like, did you know that the person that's gonna live to 150 years old is already was already born? Like that person has been born already. Like obviously we don't know who, right? But
150?
That will live up to 150 years old.
Okay.
Has been born already. Yeah. So there's people, that look, I don't know what they're called specifically, right? But they have stats and data on like the average.
They know basically like to the T.
Yes, exactly.
That's what I heard.
And that's why typically two men are more costly when it comes to insurance than females because they're a little bit more high risk.
Because they don't freaking meditate. They let the environment get the best of them.
So if I was to quote, let's say you and then a female, same age, same height, weight, everything.
27-year-olds?
Yes. Then the male will still be a little bit more costly. Yeah.
Because we don't
you guys don't
manage
love
our stress. We don't manage our stress as well, right?
Yes.
Women are like tranquilo y todo.
Most of them, right? Yeah.
Most of them. And men are like fighters. We're freaking fighters.
You guys just avoid emotions, keep going through life, and just.
We have to be, though, because it's funny because women are like, oh, I want a man that expresses emotions and stuff, but they don't. They may say they do, but they don't. They want a guy como muy fuerte, como machisto y todo.
Right. I mean, I do want a man that's like that can be honest with me when he's maybe going through a stressful day or having like a hard time. Like, please tell me so that I know what's going on, right? And I'm not like coming out here and stressing you out even more. Yeah. But of course, I don't want my man to be a crybaby either. No, sure. Like, cuídame.
I don't know. Maybe it's like a 90-10 dynamic. Like 90% you have to be like tough and like strong and like stoic.
I think
and then maybe like a 10% you
I
can
would
be
say like a good 80-20.
You could be like a little emotional, but if you're like more than 20% emotional, you're getting dumped, my friend. Like, it's just the way it is.
I don't know. Women like different things, you know? Because I've seen...
For me, like...
I've seen all types of things, so I can't even...
I don't know. I feel like if you want what you want, like what you really want, not like you're kidding around and like just like, you know, getting someone that is not really in alignment with you. Right. You know what I mean? If you really want what you really want, like you're going to have to be the best version of yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if you're like, you know, crying and all that stuff, like that's not going to cut it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean... So I do appreciate a man that can be in tune with his emotions and doesn't shut them out or pretends like he's, I don't know, Superman, right?
I'm Batman.
Yeah. So I don't. It's just like, we're human. It's okay to feel emotion. Like even Jesus Christ cried, you know? So like, what makes you think that, you know, you're any better and you need to suck it up and be so strong, you know? Like the strongest... I want to say.
I'm like, don't listen to anything she's saying right now.
There's the strongest.
Like, if you do this, you're gonna get dumped.
Cried, you know. So why would you not? And just release it. I don't know. See, I'm a little bit different. I think because I come off very like strong personality, you know, boss woman, this, that. I'm very disciplined, consistent.
For sure.
Maybe a lot of people think that I want a man that's like. Right? Like super like macho, like you said. Yeah. But on the contrary, like no. Like of course I want a leader. I want a man, right? Like a manly man. But no, I do not need like an egotistical.
So you said 80-20. You think 80-20 is like the great statistic for showing your emotion and your stoicism.
Yes.
As far as like how you operate. All right. Well, I'll take it from you. I still think it's more of a 90, like a 90.
You're like 95-5.
Yeah. Like just cause like the world, that's just how the world is. I don't know. Like people don't want to hear your complaints or anything. You just got to like stick through it. And so I guess that's why men are more prone to dropping.
Right. First. I mean, but you don't want to tell your complaints or everything you got going on to the world. But I think when you have your person or your partner, you definitely should feel more comfortable to, you know, saying what's going on. They're your person for a reason. Why would you? Why would you not want to have them pick you up every now and then, right?
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough like tightrope to walk right there.
I can tell you're like nervous. Like you got
I'm not nervous. I told you that.
Like you're like, no, I can't see myself doing that.
No, it's not that I can't see myself doing it. It's just I know like that it's not attractive when you're like, hey, this is what's going on. Like, nah, they just want results, you know? Like
who's they?
Like women. They want results.
What women? I think you need to identify.
I'm talking like generally speaking, like women want a man that just provides and delivers results. Right. She doesn't care about the details. She doesn't want that's not her business. You know what I mean? Like guy just needs to like deliver. Okay. And the woman is just like kind of cultivating and nurturing that man to be the best man that he can be, you know? Like at least that's how I see it, you know?
Yes, you took the words right out of my mouth. Nurturing. So women are nurturers. So how can we nurture something where we got no insight into, right? Like help me help you. Help me nurture you. But how can I nurture you if you're not letting me in?
I think it's just that tightrope walk, you know, like where you're like obviously open, but you're not like losing yourself in the relationship or the situation
Of
where
course.
it's like,
And like I said, like not every day. Like that's why I said 80-20. Like I don't want you crying every day, right?
Yeah.
Like
You're gonna be like out of
you
there.
said, like yeah, no, like
Yeah.
get your shit together,
for sure,
right?
for sure.
But every now and then, like I said, we're human beings. You're struggling through something. Let me know. You know,
For sure.
let me know.
Because this
see
is a
how
real
I can
thing.
help
Like,
you.
this is a real thing. This is
Yes.
why men don't live as long as women.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because men, they're the ones that are more or less providers.
Right.
Or, like, that's how it's always been. And women provide as well, too. Women are, like, actually, in many ways, most ways, greater than men.
Right.
But it's just, that's just how the world is set up.
Yeah. I mean, I love that you mentioned that too, because I think actually this month it is men's mental health
Is it?
awareness. Yes.
Okay.
And I do believe that yes, men always bottle things up, lock things in and stuff, and just keep pushing, like you say, and keep going, and just they gotta give results and provide and blah blah blah, right?
Yeah.
And then maybe that's why their insurance is higher, because like you say, they live less.
For sure,
right?
for sure.
But in that sense, that's why we got to think about, like, you need to at some point or another find somebody that you feel comfortable. Like I said, not the whole world. Don't go on social media and start crying to the whole world about what's going on, right?
Yeah.
But your person, your partner that you pick, at least you should feel comfortable enough to be like, hey,
To be at least 20%,
I'm
right?
struggling today.
At least
Yes.
20%?
Yeah, I'm struggling today.
Yeah.
You know, behind closed doors, nobody got to see.
Yeah.
And then let your woman just kind of like give you that hug. Doesn't even have to say anything,
For
right?
sure.
And just feel that peace and that nurture and that love. And then you're
Yeah.
like, all right, I'm done now. And then
For
you
sure.
go back and kill it out there. You know, I think that's just what men need. And a lot of times they're scared to do that. Just that, like, no words need to be said. Just, I'm struggling today. There you go. You let it out. You let that stress off your shoulders, and your girl's there comforting you. Doesn't even have to scold you or say or advise you or anything like that. And all of a sudden you feel like, okay, I'm good. You know?
Yeah.
I think just that alone would make such a big difference if a lot of men were open to just doing that. But
Okay.
the ego, you know?
Yeah, I mean, all of that. Just because, I mean, it's through experience, I feel. But, I mean, as long as you're, like, cultivating the inside strong as possible, you get to learn more about yourself, and you figure out, like, how you need to operate the relationship, you know?
Right.
But, yeah, no, I think don't lose yourself in the relationship, you know?
Yeah,
don't lose
definitely
yourself,
not.
because then that's not going to be a good thing either.
Yes,
you know?
definitely not. I think two people should be able to complement each other, not complete
sure.
each other, right? So
For
like
sure.
this person should have their own life going, their goals, their whys, their passion, their purpose,
For
and
sure,
same
for
for the
sure,
other
for
person,
sure.
and then they just come together, meet, and somehow are in alignment with
For
each
sure.
other, and there you go. Now they're sharing lives together, right? But I
Mm-hmm.
think that's how it should be. I think when people lose themselves or their identity over each other,
Yeah.
that's kind of like not so good.
So this is a very educational clip right here, because
Yeah.
a lot of people, they lose themselves. They make the woman the source of everything, their
Yes.
happiness, and that's
Yes.
like not.
or vice versa too. The women.
Well, yeah,
makes
vice
the-
versa,
the-
vice
the-
versa,
The man
vice
that.
versa. But I feel like in a lot of ways, like, women have more opportunity when it comes to
Right.
selection, especially these days with social media and whatnot. Like, not to, like, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. It is what it is. You know what I mean? But, like, from what I understand, like, any woman can pretty much pick and choose from a wide selection of men, and the contrary is not necessarily true. You know what I mean? It's only becomes true once you become, like, hyper successful.
Right.
Then you have many more options, right?
Yes.
And so, yeah, I mean, I think it's
I can see that perspective, definitely. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, no, right?
Yeah.
I can definitely agree and see that perspective. I also think, I mean, I don't know, in terms of me, I grew up with
brothers.
only brothers and only males, like male cousins, right? So
Okay.
I was the only nieta, the only granddaughter in my family, and like I said, in Mexico City, in un pueblo, right? So I can see how.
So they all protected you, or what?
Yeah,
They
of
didn't
course.
they
But
didn't
they
let
also
nobody-
bullied me around and stuff,
Oh, okay.
right? But I grew up, what I'm trying to say is I grew up with seeing, my brothers, my cousins, stuff like that. Especially my brothers go through relationships, struggles, seeing them like, just I need to be successful. I need to be this, that, blah, blah, to
Yeah.
provide results. Okay, so once you get to a certain extent, right, you're a high value man or whatever. But I do think, I think men should also be looking for good qualities in a woman.
For sure.
Right? It's
For
like
sure.
you're not just gonna pick anybody
Yeah,
up.
no.
I do think
No.
that women can't be so demanding of like, oh, I want a guy that's this,
Yeah, it doesn't mean that
X,
you're
Y,
gonna
and
get
Z.
it,
Like
yeah.
they have their list and
Yeah.
they're being so strict on it, but themselves are not being that person that would attract that man.
Absolutely.
Right? So I just think like, yes, it's good to have high standards and high expectations for your person that you're gonna want to marry and build a future with, but also have those expectations and standards for yourself.
Yeah, no, you have to
right?
do it.
You need to bring something as well.
You have to like replicate what you're wanting to attract,
Right.
or otherwise
Yes.
it's not gonna.
Yeah,
it's not
because
gonna
I
happen.
think like you mentioned, like the whole Instagram or nowadays generation, like maybe a lot of women think like, oh, you know, I'm pretty, I'm beautiful, I got the looks. There you go, I deserve everything, right?
Yeah.
And cool, like kudos to some women that it works out for them and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. But for me personally, speaking for myself, I definitely want to be in a position where I'm like, you know, I want a high value man, but because I'm attracting you, because I am that high value woman.
Yeah, and no, and I
Right?
think it's very. I mean, for me, I mean, maybe when I was younger, I would just go off of look. Like, I
Right.
didn't even care like the mind, right? Obviously, now it's like the attraction, the look is very like that. That's like the attention getter, right?
Right,
That's the
of
attention. That's the
course.
attention getter. But now I'm like more patient and like I wait till you open your mouth, till you open your mouth, and then from there I can start making like discernment on like what type of dynamic I can have with this person or whatever the case may be,
Right.
you know. And so for me now, like it's not the look. The look is very surface level,
Right.
right? And if I'm gonna like be spending time like I think in the Bible it says something like the woman could be the rose or the thorn, right? Your wife could be the rose or the thorn. And it's
Right.
like especially if I'm gonna be investing time, energy, anything, like I don't want the thorn, like
Right.
you know, I don't like my
Yes.
time is so precious. And I asked you earlier about like drinking and stuff, and I do drink a little bit, but I don't even like really drinking anymore because like as an entrepreneur, like us as entrepreneurs, I feel like I have to operate at such a high level,
Right.
especially like if I don't work, I don't eat. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so like I don't really have like a security. Like I'm my own security pretty much. You know what I mean? And so I don't even know where I was going with this, but yeah,
we
no,
were
just,
talking about like high value man,
high value man, high value
and,
woman.
like, yeah.
And so yeah, no, just like it's just the mindset, you know, is like more important to me than the physical. You know,
Right.
the physical is like very
Well,
important
that's
to me.
what's gonna capture your attention, right? Of course, we're human. Like that's just the facts. But after that, then it's like, okay, well now let's let the mind speak for itself, right? Because
Yeah.
there's a term that in Spanish that you just say, oh, cara bonita, right? Like es nada más cara bonita. It just means like, oh, just pretty, but probably pretty ugly inside, right?
Yeah.
So, and there's a lot of people out there for both genders, right? So, and then you said a word too that stood out to me. You said discernment, right? So, for a long time too, I was actually going through this like self-concept course, like healing, like by myself. Like I
For
actually
sure.
went out and like seeked help and stuff. Just to kind of like, I always love to improve and learn and grow myself in any
For
way,
sure.
physical, mentally, spiritually, just emotionally, right? So, so this person specifically, because she knows I'm very like spiritual, like I like to pray, talk to God and stuff. I'm not perfect, right? But I do have that relationship with him. And she'd always say, if you're going to pray for something, pray for discernment. Right? She'd
Yeah.
always tell me, if you're going to pray for something, pray for discernment.
Okay.
And at first I didn't understand that, right? And I had to look up the word. What does that even mean, right?
Yeah.
So I looked it up and I was just like, okay, makes sense, right? And ever since then, it always stood out to me. And I always like, every day after day, I was always like trying to be more in tune with that and being self-aware and just trying to, have that discernment when you talk to somebody.
For
Because
sure.
like you said, I network a lot, right? So I speak to so many people and I know a lot of people.
And you're a very
And
beautiful woman.
Thank you.
Okay, just
Thank
put
you.
that out there. Like,
So you never
yeah.
know the intentions. You never know, right? Like especially me being in business, obviously wanting to talk to people too, share my services and have their business, right?
For sure.
Or have them do business with me. it's really hard when, like you say, you know, you're attractive and then you go out and talk to all these people. You need to have discernment, like
No, for sure.
your guard
Especially
all the time, right?
a young, beautiful woman needs to even more so because you're more vulnerable. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that I'm always practicing when I go to networking events, when I'm meeting people, X, Y, and Z. It's like, okay, you might be good looking, this and that, but like what's it's like an onion. Like, let's peel it, right?
Sure,
let's see what's underneath there.
For sure.
And sometimes you don't like what you see underneath, and there you go. And then sometimes you do, and that's where you just kind of keep peeling, right? So
yeah, no. When someone decides to work with you, Sarah, like how can they work with you? What's the process? What can they anticipate when working with you? Why is it better to work with you?
Working in terms of like having a licensed agent come be part of my team, or working with me as in like having me
whether it being like a direct sell or recruitment. You can answer both questions.
I mean, in terms of recruitment, I do have a couple agents under my team, like I said, under my umbrella, and anybody else who wants to be part of that, definitely they need to go out and get their license, right?
Okay.
And then after that, it's just kind of like, to me, I'm very helpful. I'm very nurturing to people that I see that want to go out and be, you know,
for sure,
be the best they can be for themselves. So
you
of course,
that infrastructure.
Yes,
you have that
consistency.
infrastructure.
You need to show up. I have that expectation, right, within my teammates. Otherwise, I don't care, respectfully, to have you on my team if that's not really like how you do your style, right? So like I said, I'm not like desperate to recruit, but of course I'm always open to have new agents under my team.
Okay,
right?
cool.
And in terms of clients, what was the question? Was what?
Yeah, like how can someone work with you?
Oh.
What's like the workflow? What can they expect?
Right.
How can someone was watching this video and was like, you know what, I'm interested in maybe getting something for my family,
anything
whatever.
like
how can they get in touch with you? How do you normally work? What can they expect, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera?
I mean, a lot of my clients come from Instagram, right, or networking or referrals. So that's kind of like how I'm
no TikTok
getting clients. I know.
You're not on TikTok yet?
I'm on TikTok, but like fitness stuff.
Okay, cool.
So,
but you're gonna take my advice, right?
With what?
You're gonna start inviting your clients?
I'll start doing that.
That shit is like people don't, excuse my language, but people don't realize like that stuff is like, it's cool. You know what I mean? Like,
you took them to work out and then you close them, right?
Well, I mean, they're already closed, but
True.
you know, like
they went.
It's just like, even if it's not even a business relationship, even if it's just like a regular friendship or whatever, like if you're investing in someone's health, you know what I mean? Like that's like a selfless act. You know what I mean? I feel so.
That's true.
And you know, like I don't know. I feel like it builds more a bigger bond with whoever you're.
That's true. I'm gonna have to give it a try.
Yeah, no.
But
look into it.
But yeah, so social media networking referrals is my biggest thing right now.
And so they just gotta send you like a DM or what?
Message, phone call. I give out my business cards. Message, phone call, or just reaching out. Yeah.
What's your handle?
So my Instagram handle, my personal is. It's Sarah Ruiz, so ITSSA.
Not the one that's popping? That's the one that's popping off, or what?
That's like my personal one. Okay. So that's the one that kind of gets the most traction because I've had that for years. And then I just recently started my actual just financial planning Instagram, which is at The Faith Financial.
Okay.
And for that one, I am in the works of, I already am working with a marketer,
digital marketer.
Yeah, so he's gonna be handling that page, which I'm like very happy about because I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
You know, so the less I have to do, the better for me. So
absolutely.
I'm gonna work on building that page now. But other than that, my personal is the one that gets the most traction for now. Phone number, text, email always works as well.
Okay, cool. And then so we'll provide all your information in the links below or in the bio description. But yeah, no, I really appreciate you coming on today. I know we said it was going to be around 30 minutes. I think we went like over an hour already.
Yes.
But since I did want to bring this up, I know you say you can't vote, but what do you think about the election, the debate tonight? What do you think? What do you expect? You excited? You don't really care? Or
I'll be honest, like I don't really know. I mean, I can't vote, so why does it matter for me to like, But I will say that I will say that I don't know. I can't.
You don't want to say any comments or anything. Nothing.
Yeah.
No, I just think
It's just it's.
I think it's a big deal tonight. You know, like it's a really
Yeah.
big deal. I'm the type of person who, like, you can vote for whoever, you know, like that's your choice as an
Right.
American citizen. Like you can do whatever you want. I think especially like back in 2020, it was like if you were for one candidate, you were like labeled a certain way,
Right.
which I think is totally wrong.
I mean, for me, the way I see it, it's just like, okay, I am an immigrant, right? Like I came from Mexico, so
When are you going to get your papers? When are you going to get them?
I get my citizenship probably like in a year or so.
Okay.
I have my residency.
Because your English is like impeccable.
Thank you.
Yeah,
you.
I wouldn't even-
I have my residency, but I still need to get my citizenship.
How long have you been here? I know you got to go, but how long have you been here?
I've been here since I was 9 years old.
Okay, so you have
So-
a lot of time here.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I managed to learn the English and
The,
perfect
the,
it.
the English language.
Yeah, and perfect it.
Okay.
But back to the political stuff, yeah, like I said, so, you know, immigrant, I know Trump feels a certain way about that stuff, and I know my little brother, he didn't get certain perks because of stuff that he took out, like the DACA, you know, program and stuff, which
Trump
was
did, right?
Yeah, Trump, which was very, very helpful and for people like us, like super. So that was kind of like a loss for us, right? So
Yeah, see, I'm not knowledgeable in that
yeah,
area.
so he had to go back to Mexico for 2 years because of the lack of that program, right?
Okay.
Or the absence of that program. So that really so a lot of things that Trump does impact my family in the whole
Yeah.
immigration way, right? But then at the same time, I am an upcoming, you know, business owner, entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I am, you know, so I can definitely see how he would be, you know, a wise choice, right? But and then on the other side, right? So it's like more of like, you know, more lenient maybe on the immigration parts and
For
stuff,
sure,
but
for
then like the leadership is kind of like is kind of wacky,
Yeah.
right? So
And I can relate
it
to
puts
you.
me in a very like weird situation.
Yeah,
So-
no, and I can relate to you in a lot of ways because of like I have family from Nicaragua,
Mm-hmm.
and you could put in like petitions to bring them over and different
Right.
things like that. And I think I'm not knowledgeable with it. With Trump, maybe it'll be a little bit more difficult. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
But just to like kind of relate to you in that respect. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it's give and take. You know, as an entrepreneur, I feel like the country was doing better under Trump.
Right.
And then with Biden, it's more like big government,
Right.
and I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah.
But no, I just think it's an interesting topic to talk about,
Right.
just because it's tonight and it's gonna be like it's a big deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, the way I see it now, I'm just like, okay, my dad just got his citizenship last week, right? And then so that's a great win for my family. So and then I'm gonna be getting mine soon, right? So for me, I'm just like, and then I have my business. I'm working towards, you know, other stuff that I want to, you know, accomplish as well,
For sure.
in terms of like businesses and career goals. So the way I see it, I'm just like, I'll just sponsor my family, you know, worst case scenario. So,
I mean, that's what you can do. Like that's what I did.
Yeah.
With,
So I'm like, now I'm just kind of like, okay, like I'm not really tripping.
Yeah, with one of my family members, I sponsored her, and like I had to like put in her
Mm-hmm.
information or whatever, and she just got here like maybe 2 months ago.
Yeah.
But
That's
I mean, you
awesome.
have your citizenship in Mexico, right?
Yes.
So you can technically buy land there.
Yes.
I think if I wanted to buy land in your country,
Uh-huh.
I need to have like a corporation or something like that. I think it needs to be a Mexican corporation to buy
Really?
land. Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, to have both is.
I
like-
had somebody wanting to marry me just because of my citizenship in Mexico.
Oh, they wanted to
And
be a Mexican
and
citizen?
they wanted to buy land over there, so they wanted to prove that.
Maybe they just. I don't think that was the reason. I think they just
I mean,
wanted
yeah,
to marry you.
of course, other reasons as well, but
Yeah.
that was definitely a perk.
I think that
of
was an
being
excuse.
with like a foreign,
Yeah,
you know,
that was an excuse.
a
That
Mexican.
wasn't the reason. But anyways, I really thank you for coming on the show today. I got to learn a lot about you, and hopefully a lot of the viewers got to learn a lot about you too. And to more business and more success and more love, light, happiness in the near future.
Yes. Thank you so much, Brandon. Thank you for having me here. I had a lot of fun. We talked about a lot of things, but I enjoyed it. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you. This was Brandon Estrada with the Hefé Media podcast. Till next time. L'chaim. Cheers.
Like-